All right. What's up to everybody watching later? I imagine nobody's here quite yet. Chris's show just ended and I was kind of bored, so I thought, hey, what the hell? I'll go ahead and go live for a little bit, see if anyone wants to hang out. And um, I'm not sure the title of this video showing up weird in for my chat or whatever, but it should be listed as just an open panel. When some people show up, I'll let you come in if you want to come in. Just hang out. I'll be able to join in a couple minutes, but well, you don't have to join while you're driving. Let's Farm. Some people will come along and want to join. I didn't schedule this. I just kind of went live for no reason. So, yeah, I'm going to let people on. You want to come on, Sheldon? Here, I'll go ahead and post a link in chat. Let's see. Invite. Copy. Now, this is EVMux, so you'll have to be using a Chrome-based browser. Most likely, it may work with something else, but I know for sure it works good with Chrome browsers. So, there's a link for anybody that wants to join. And I'll switch over to this so that anybody that does join it would be easier to talk in this place. But what's up, MC Nemesis Memes, Let's Farm, Sheldon Lamy, or Lammy, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but anybody wants to come on and talk or whatever, there's the link for it. Just kind of hanging out and saying hey to people. Like I said, Chris's show just ended. I was set up recording anyway, so I was like, well, what the hell, why not just go ahead and go live since there's nothing else really live right now that I could find anyway. If I did step on somebody else's program, excuse me, I didn't mean to. Unless it was the line, in which case, fuck you, I did it on purpose. But how is everybody doing this morning? Chris's stream was really lively and a lot of people over there talking, and it was a pretty good stream. I've had mixed feelings about Chris in the past, but you know, I had to quit being an asshole about it, and Chris is doing a good job, and I'm glad he's here. What's up, MC Nemesis? How you doing?
Hello. I don't usually people don't use this one. Is this one becoming more popular, this Evmux?
Um, I switched to it. A lot of people are leaving StreamYard, is what's happening. And I chose this one because it allows me to set up the some really cool layouts and stuff, and it has a lot of the features that you can only get in OBS. It's not like the others, and that's why I liked it. But people are leaving StreamYard because they like tripled the price. So I came here. I had StreamYard. I had subscribed to StreamYard for a whole year at a time, and the price went from $130 for what I had to $431. So I said no, thank you, and came here for like $20 a month.
Well, that's not bad. So StreamYard got kind of popular, then hiked the price as usual.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that, this one, they're all, pretty much the same. It's just which one gives you the most,
Are
like,
you? Sorry. Are
sorry,
you from Kentucky, MC Nemesis?
no, I'm from North Carolina, but my
Oh,
wife is actually from Louisville.
okay. You sound. I knew it was Southern, but a few things you said sounded a little Kentucky to me, like
Are you
Western
around
Kentucky.
Louisville?
I'm about 2 hours from Louisville.
Okay.
I'm in Ashland, right at the border of West Virginia and Ohio.
Yeah, Southern people. A lot of people will dismiss us outright just because we're Southern, and
Sure.
that's a phenomenon I don't understand because we're the smartest people.
Yeah.
I just I just don't like JD Vance. Of course he's not really Appalachian, or is he?
Uh, I
Southern.
I mean, he likes to claim it, but I don't. I think he's actually from Ohio. But I mean, whatever. I mean, JD Vance. I you're not putting him in the category of the smart ones, are you?
Well, I mean, he's smart to the extent that he got himself in the position that he is in.
You know what? I'll give this to JD Vance. He's creepy and all those things, and he's kind of a little bit Nazi on occasion, but and he definitely supports some bad things and is part of the fascist thing. And there's a lot of things I could say about JD Vance of him being a piece of shit, but I'm not going to go that route.
The reason I come up here is to let you know that you're not actually an atheist.
Oh,
That you actually believe in a God.
yeah. You know what? I just made a list of 10 stupid things that creationists and theists say.
No, I'm serious. But see, I'm not a Bible thumper. I can tell you the God you believe in. His name is Bill, and
Who?
you worship that God. I know you do. The government. You
The
believe in
government?
the government. You think it's real.
No, I don't. I think our government's fundamentally broken, actually.
No, not that it's broken. You believe that it actually exists.
Our government?
Yes.
I mean, words have meanings. There's a thing we label as our government.
You believe that. Do you believe that they have magical powers that other people don't have?
Our government?
Yeah.
I don't believe magic exists at all.
Well, then why do you follow the laws? And why do you pay
Well,
tax?
I've been in prison and jail a number of times, so it might be arguable that I follow the laws.
Would you agree with me that the government is a mental construct that's not real?
No, I wouldn't.
Well, there you go. You're not an
I think
atheist.
I think the fact that we just had an election shows you that the government is real. We installed those people.
So if
Now,
I have an
if
election, if it's me between me and my cousin, what would that mean?
well, here's what I'm getting at though. So if you mean like our government isn't what we think it is, and it's not the thing we think it is, like we elect people and it's really just a bunch of puppets and stuff. Like if you want to say that, I would agree with that statement. But now to say that it's some magical entity that doesn't actually exist, I don't. You, I think there's more nuance to what you're saying, and I don't want to just dismiss you outright. So I think that you could be onto something, or you could just be, going to crazy town. I'm not sure.
No. My source. Have you ever heard of Mark Passio?
Mark Passio. I don't think so.
He's the one that told me that atheists weren't real.
Well, he lied to you.
No, he didn't. Because you
So
just admitted that you believe in the government. You believe they have the power to, like, what
the
is a
only
law? A law
the
is
only
just something written on a piece of paper, and you
sure.
believe that.
So here's the thing. I get what you're saying, but here's the thing with laws. I know you don't like the way the elections work and stuff, but people
They're not
vote.
real.
Okay, people vote on representatives to send to Congress. Now, those people in Congress, we agree that the things that they write down on paper, that we're going to follow them as laws. So yeah, laws are not a tangible thing, but as that's how society works, is we agree on certain terms. So, and I'm trying to be really charitable with the
No,
things you're
I don't
saying.
agree of any terms of the government. So, what terms am
Well,
I agreeing to?
well, see, here's the thing. By being a resident of the United States, you're
Oh, I
free to
chose
leave.
that. So I chose that.
Yeah, well, no, you're free to leave. Um,
I don't have the resources to buy a private island.
well, that doesn't mean that you get to not follow the laws just because you don't like them.
What
Um,
is the law? Like that doesn't. Okay, so if the law in North Carolina is different from the law in Kentucky, which law are you referring to?
well, so when you live in a state, you follow the laws that state. They have authority and jurisdiction over that state, and it's given to them through the Constitution of the United States.
Right.
Now, all of
Given.
those
Okay, you
things.
can't. Wait, let me stop you there. You cannot delegate a right that you don't have. What right are you delegating to another human being?
Well, see, I guess if you look at it under like if you have a religious view on it or whatever, You may feel that way,
This
but
is your religion that you're trying to push on me. Your
no,
God is
no,
government.
no. You're
And I'm
misunderstanding
telling
me.
you, the burden of proof is on you.
Oh, okay,
You have to, okay, explain to me, give me an example of the government and how it exists.
okay. So look, a long time ago, a bunch
No,
of
I
people.
didn't ask. Just give me an example of the government. If it's real, you have evidence of it, right?
I mean, I'm sure that you've seen C-SPAN, right? I'm sure that you've seen the actual people that people elected in Congress doing the
I
things
didn't elect
sometimes we're
anybody.
elected to
Nobody
do.
elects people. They take a poll every 4 years in the company. It's a corporation known as the United States of America. And have you ever wondered what the symbols mean? Have you done any
So,
research at all into it?
yeah, I do know what some of the symbols mean, and they're questionable, and there is
Okay, so
some.
you understand that those symbols are not put here for you and I. Those symbols are put here by the dark occult, unless you're going to deny that
That's that's
reality.
that's fine if you want. That's fine if you want to look at it that way, but
It's
that
not how
dark
I'm looking
occult.
at it. I'm looking at it
No,
objectively truth.
hold on. Let me answer you now. I'm letting you say your
By
things.
the way,
Let me
you
get
didn't give it evidence
right because you went on to something else. Okay.
because you're avoiding and pivoting because you can't answer the question. Give me an example of government. Give me an example. How do I delegate a right that I don't have? How do I give someone the ability to make a law?
Because we agreed that that was a
I
thing.
didn't agree to it.
Right. You don't have to.
The libertarians don't agree to it.
So
Okay, so
listen.
I don't have to agree. So you're going to give me $50 today, and if you don't do it, I'm going to send men with guns.
If you have the resources to do that and want to, if you want to form an independent state and have a constitution and laws that lay out that you can do that and people that want to be part of that and do that, then you very well could. But the thing of it is back a long time ago, whenever we signed our Declaration of Independence and our
It's a piece
Constitution.
of paper.
Yes, it is. But that piece of
It does
paper,
not have power.
the paper doesn't have power.
Oh
You're
my
right.
God. Dude, can you play? How does that piece of paper have power?
The paper doesn't have any power. I'm agreeing with you. Here's the
Okay, then
thing.
who has power?
Listen to me and I'll explain, okay? So, whenever we did those things, they set out this territory, the states within the United States, whether you call it a corporation or whatever, those states that are within the United States became a sovereign nation, right? And in
There's
that
no such
sovereign,
thing as a nation. A nation's not real.
you are a citizen of the United States. If you want to revoke
No,
that
I'm not.
citizenship, you can. You can
I
do that.
didn't
You can.
choose to be it. I was born. I didn't sign up for it. Can I opt out of the system?
Yes, you can. You can revoke
No,
your
I can't.
citizenship.
So I can just be like, okay, I ain't gonna. I'm gonna go to the store. Give me this. I ain't paying sales tax. Just give me that soda.
Well, no, because then you're operating within a
So it's
business
forced.
that is agreeing to those
Okay,
laws.
so let me tell you something. What you're doing is called mental gymnastics. You're trying to justify its existence. It does not exist.
I
The
don't think so.
government is a mental construct. It's about. It's a religion. People believe in the
So look,
religion.
there is a mental construct idea to the government to where it's like it only works if we have faith in it working. There is like that. There is that kind of thing to it, but it's not religious faith. It's a different meaning of faith.
No. Okay, so you believe in the religion known as government.
No,
You just said you did because you said that the
I don't. I
Constitution, the
don't. I
laws,
don't think that you've shown government to be a religion. Look up the definition of
the
religion.
burden of proof is on you.
No, hold on. Listen. You've said that the government is a religion, and if you believe that the government exists, that you believe in some religion. I need you to here. I'll read the definition of religion to you, and you explain to me how the government fits that. Okay?
All right. And while you're doing that, look up the etymology of the word and see that government means mind control.
Okay. Um, Religion is a noun from the Oxford Dictionary. The belief in and worship of a superhuman power or powers, especially a god or gods.
Mm-hmm.
A particular system of faith and worship. A pursuit of interest which someone ascribes supreme importance. So there's different usages for the word religion. Like you can say, I watch the news religiously, right? That would be one use of the word. But when you call it a religion, as relates to me being an atheist, you're claiming that there's some superhuman powers there, and it implies that somehow they're a creator and all those other things that come with religion. Now
You
I
just
know
said
not.
there was.
No, I don't think that the
Because you
government's any
think
of
that
those
a
things.
man, how I ask you a question, you're avoiding all the questions I ask you. One question that you avoided time and time again is how do I delegate a right that I don't? How do I delegate a right that I don't have? How do I?
You're you don't. You live in the
Okay, so I can't
jurisdiction.
delegate rights that I don't have. I
No,
mean,
you
God, dude,
can't.
that just took me like 16 minutes to pull out of you. Okay, I'm trying to walk you through this in your mind so you will understand. Like, I want you to leave your religion.
You can delegate it, but nobody has to follow it. Is the thing. That's
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 what
where
I'm
you're
saying.
lacking.
You cannot delegate a right that you don't possess. I have no right to tax another human being. No right. I have no right to take the fruits of another person's labor. You know what that's
Right.
called? Slavery. You know what government really means in the etymology? Slavery.
I think that there is. I think that there is an argument for we're all slaves to the banks or the Federal Reserve because of
Oh
the
my dude, you're not,
taxes
it's
and stuff like
literal
that. I think there is
slavery.
an argument
They're
for that.
taking the
But
fruits of your labor. It's not some metaphorical up in the cloud. It's real life. They're taking taxes. They took 100% of the fruits of the labor of the slaves and cotton field, the chattel. And now they're taking what, 30% of the fruits of another person's labor now. So
but see, the rest of us, we do agree to live under that system with the
no,
Constitution and
we
all that
don't.
stuff.
Not in 1912, there was no income tax. Did you know that we fought the Civil War? There was no income tax in Britain. We fought the whole fucking Revolutionary War over a 4 to 5%
That's
sales
not
tax
why.
on tea.
That's that's not why we fought the war, but that was part of it. Taxation without representation, right?
There
So
is okay.
now
So let me explain something to you. When you go out, you work in the field. I have no right to take any fruits of your labor. Do you understand that? Like, is it
I do
computed?
understand that you don't.
Okay, so the government, your mythical god, has no right to tax anybody.
Yes, it does.
No, it don't. It is a god, a
So,
make
so
believe
listen,
construct
as a
that takes
citizen
and
of the United
steals.
States,
It's called stealing.
okay. You don't have to be a citizen here. You don't have to be. That's the by being a citizen, you agree to certain terms, right? You're an adult, you're able to make decisions. If you don't want to be a citizen, then fucking go.
Okay, walk me through the process of how I can stop. Okay, I own a piece of property, so walk me through the process of how I can alleviate myself from property tax.
Well, see, in the United States, you don't actually own that property. The United States owns it first.
But I
You
do
have
own it
a
because we
deed to
pay
that
for it.
property, which means that you agree to pay taxes and stuff on that property, or
I
they
do
will
not
take
agree
it.
to a goddamn thing. Stop saying that
Read
I
your
agree.
deed. Read
It
your
is
deed.
forced upon me, god damn
You
it. You are
you
not listening.
you
It's
own
forced
property.
upon me.
Read the motherfucking
Taxes
deed.
are forced by
Read
the
the deed.
fucking mythical beast known as government that you believe in. You're
Read
not
the
a
deed
fucking
that you
atheist.
signed.
You worship government.
Have you
You
read the deed
worship
that you
government.
signed?
It's not real. Racism's not real. Transgender's not real. They're all religions. Do you understand?
Goodbye. Sorry about that, guys. I was willing to, have a conversation about those things until we got into hatred and everything else, and I'm not going to do that. Um, and just to answer the questions that for anybody else out there that's crazier than hell and wants to know, the United States. There are some things to what he said that you could assume, right? But about the government, not the other crazy shit. But as a citizen of the United States, when you go and work or buy things from a business or any of those things are in the United States and everybody has agreed to live by those terms. So you accept at that point, it's an implied consent to pay those taxes and such. Uh, let's farm. Don't come on here and yell some sovereign citizen shit at me now.
Well, I'm the exact opposite of a sovereign citizen, and I understand that us Americans, that our government gets its power from the consent of the governed.
Yes.
So our government is built upon our consent. If we decide to revoke that consent, then we can change our government.
Yeah. Yeah. No. No. I agree. And like you, as an adult, you are free to apply to revoke your citizenship and go elsewhere. But when you enter the
Oh,
United States,
absolutely.
when you enter the United States, you're in a sovereign land. It's implied that you agree to follow the laws and things set forth. If not, they will put you in jail. Now, you don't have to accept that government has any power or whatever, but because so many people have faith in it and follow it, and they have armies and all those things, and police and all that, they will put you in jail whether you believe it or not. You're going to follow those laws, or you're either going to be kicked out or put in jail. That's how it goes. And you
And
could call it. I think the thing saying I wasn't an atheist though was kind of crazy. Um,
oh yeah,
because I believe in
and
government.
it's basically the same as our money. Our money doesn't have the value that we give it. I mean, it's a piece of paper, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
And it only has the value that we agree that it has.
Yeah. Right.
It's all
Right.
about consent and agreement.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a fiat system. It's
Yes,
it has value because we give it value. Um, it's not
100%.
backed by anything specific. For a while, it was kind of the petrodollar, and we had the gold standard, but they did away with that, and now it's straight up fiat. It has value because of America's wealth and what we're able to produce and those things. Oil's still a big part of that, but I think a crazy thing that they do. I think there's a lot of problems with that system personally. I mean, but I wouldn't go as far as that dude did. I mean, like
Oh, heck no.
I think that there's problems with how the Federal Reserve works, and that it's a private entity rather than part of the government. I
100%.
think yeah, I think there's a lot of problems with how we print dollars at a loss, and then you pretty much work to pay the interest to the banks on those dollars, and the banks can just
Exactly.
create money out of thin air through the fractional reserve system. I think all that's bad. Like I think capitalism is unsustainable in its current form. I would agree with any of those statements, but to go that far, no. And then of course you backed it up with all the bigoted shit at the end, which wasn't necessary. But I
I missed that because I was trying to join the stream here, so I'm sorry I
yeah,
missed that.
he had to take a shot at racism and trans people before I kicked him out.
Huh.
Um,
Oh, we love those. Yeah, that
yeah,
makes my job really easy.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things with open streams. Sometimes you get people like that or whatever, and like I don't, you know, I'm my tolerance for that shit though is immediate though. Like as soon as you say something, even going down that road, I just kick you the fuck out. Like I don't care.
It, it brings up your bile. You're just like, oh God, no, not one of these.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Especially, especially considering that you extend your family tree out far enough, and every one of us has got gay, trans, people of color in our family. All of us.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
personally, I don't understand saying that racism doesn't exist or that trans people don't exist and stuff like that. I think that's like, uh, and that's why sometimes I say, like, whenever they say atheists don't exist, that they're trying to be bigots by saying that, but
mm,
since atheism isn't really that kind of thing, like you don't like it doesn't matter. But with the racism and trans people stuff, yeah, I'm not gonna put up with that. I've kicked I kicked Lupin for being a racist. I kicked a few people over that stuff, and I'm not going to put up with it. I won't.
Don't blame you. Would do the
I,
same
I,
thing in
I
our
mean,
streams.
I mean, even though with the crazy talk, I'm willing to try and hear somebody out. You know, like I'm a lot more charitable on that than a lot of people, I guess. And maybe I should have just went ahead and booted him whenever he said my religion was government. But you know, I just made a video of 10 stupid things that creationists say, and or creationists and theists say, and I just recorded it and I had everything set up, and Chris's show was ending, so I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just go live for a little bit. It looks like there's a lot of people out looking for stuff to watch, and nobody else is really live right now, so what the hell? I'll go and see if anybody wants to talk about stuff. And wouldn't you know, the first one I get is batshit fucking crazy.
Gonna end up on Team Skeptic someday.
Yeah, yeah, he would be good for Team Skeptic.
Be a good candidate for him because he
Maybe
really
maybe
goes after the soft citizens.
maybe I'll send him a link to it and see if he wants to cover it.
Yeah, he'd be a good one for Team Skeptic.
I'll tag Team Skeptic in the comments after the video and see if he wants to take a look at it, because that was a pretty good one for him. But yeah,
well,
I don't.
When he was on though, in the comment section, some people were saying that he's like a convicted criminal.
Who?
MC Nemesis there.
Oh, I mean, I'm a convicted criminal. I mean, what's?
Yeah, but yours weren't crimes against, like, personal crimes against people. Yours are all like drug charges and shit, right?
My shit was all theft and burglary and forgery and.
Well, I wasn't very good in my youth either. I got charges.
I stole from the man, usually, if you know what that means, and
oh yeah.
I stole from my family a couple times, which, you know, was a real regrettable thing. But drugs, you know, drug addiction will do that to you. But
I got caught stealing gas from Department of Transportation trucks.
Yeah, he's a kidnapper.
They weren't happy. They were not happy about that.
Yeah, I used to, because where I have a degree in computer science, I'm pretty. Although it wouldn't seem it sometimes in my stream, I'm pretty good with a computer. And a couple jobs I had, I was able to hack into their computer systems while I was at work and do things I wasn't supposed to do through manager settings and such. And when you're waiting tables, that's a powerful thing to have. I got in trouble for that. I stole a few things. I had possession of a handgun by a convicted felon. That was a big one. Got charged with child support because I was in jail and couldn't pay child support. So when I got out, they charged me with child support. Yeah, I mean, you know, I've had my experience, you know, with you know, I'm not perfect and I've done wrong things. But like, yeah, I haven't committed any crimes against any person. Nothing violent, nothing sexual, nothing like that. You know, all my stuff
me
is.
Either. I got 2 DUIs, possession, burglary, a couple other things. Nothing. Burglary for stealing gas.
What's the date? The 26th? I got till the 16th. What are they talking about? But yeah, no, I never got caught stealing gas, although I did do that a few times.
You got to get home and you don't have money for gas.
I did get a DUI once, but check this out. This is an awesome story. Everybody likes my stories. This is a good one. So back in 2011, I had just a couple years before that started injecting drugs and really got strung out and out there. And I had, at the time, I had just gotten divorced and lost everything and was in a bad spot, and my coping is what led me to drugs anyway. And so my thing to do it started with drinking every night with my buddy, and eventually we started doing pills, and it just went downhill, you know. But I hit a pretty good lick. The guy because I moved in my buddy's house, and the guy that was living there was really old, and he said, hey, you can live here if you'll, like take care of that dude. Like, he's old and feeble and probably needs to be in a home, and if you'll, help me do that or whatever, then you can stay here. And I was like, cool. So, and it was a big, nice house his family owned. And so I did. I helped out. He was an old World War II vet, and I did everything for him. Made his food, made his coffee. Did what I could to help out. And one day he had Alzheimer's. Well, he eventually had Alzheimer's. And one day he fell on top of a space heater and burnt his back all to pieces. An ambulance came and took him to the hospital, and when he came back, I dressed his burns and did all that. I'd previously been an EMT and a firefighter, so I had a little bit of experience with first aid and stuff. And so I did that stuff and everything. Well, he got pretty bad off, and I told his family, like, you're going to have to put him in a home or something, like, we're not able to care for him here. And they put him in a home, and a couple weeks later he died. And that wasn't cool, and a rough time or whatever, but I was kind of like in the middle of addiction and stuff. And after he died, I moved into his old room because I had been sleeping in the floor of one of the rooms upstairs. And I'd been there for like 6 months, and in that 6 months I lost 130 pounds. And yeah, I was at about 300 pounds, about where I'm at now, and I lost 130 pounds. And didn't even have clothes that fit me or anything at the time, but was strung out on drugs. Well, I got with this girl that had got out on house arrest, and she was a wild chick or whatever, and I knew it. And like, whenever I'd left, I'd stayed at my sister left her husband at the same time, and I'd stayed there. And I needed money, and I had got involved with this other girl and stuff, and she pawned a gun in my name and all this shit, and it was a whole big thing. But anyway, they eventually tried to charge me with possession of a handgun by a convicted felon. Well, at that point, I went on the run, and I pulled some resources and ended up with $4,000 or $5,000 and went and holed up in a hotel room in Ohio for a couple weeks just to figure things out. And that didn't really work. I ended up buying about $1,000 worth of cocaine and had a bunch of whores running in and out all day. But anyway, I come back to Kentucky. I'm on the run. I'm with this other girl. She's like working waiting tables somewhere and hooking me up with dope and all that shit. And I end up getting a car, a piece of shit Lumina that had no power steering. And I was with my buddy Quinn, and I've already been charged and convicted of all this stuff, so I'm not letting anything out. But I was with my buddy Quinn, and we went and picked up a couple pills and pulled up beside Gaddy Land off in the empty parking lot beside it in the morning, and did a couple pills or whatever. And as we're pulling out of there, I turn out onto the main road, but I don't have any power steering, so some of those sharp turns kind of swerve a bit, getting the wheel straightened back out, right? Well, there was a state trooper sitting across the street in the bank parking lot to see me pull out, and he had seen that I'd been sitting over at Gaddyland too, so he knew something was up. Well, I was on the run at the time, right? So I see him get on my ass, and I come up to what I call Walmart Mountain, which there's a Walmart on a big, huge hill, and I go up on that hill, and like I'm going to Walmart, and when I pull into the parking lot, he blue lights me, and he comes up to the door, and he's like, "You got any ID?" And
Did I lose you?
Huh?
Something happened.
What happened? Am I still here? Can you hear me?
I can't hear anything anymore.
Can you see me? Can you see me? Can everybody hear me?
I can't hear anything.
Can everybody in the audience hear me?
Sorry. Shit.
Just a second. Let me see. Can the audience hear me? Somebody in chat let me know. Okay. You can see and hear both
I
of
also
us.
can't see the chat, so I don't know if anybody else can hear.
All right, so you can see and hear both of us. Let me now can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? All right, I'm gonna keep telling this. I'm gonna keep telling the story. So anyway, he blue lights me, and he comes up to my car door, and he says ID and insurance and all that shit. Well, I had papers where I had just bought the car from the dealership. I didn't have anything else, and I told him I didn't have an ID, which I purposely didn't carry my ID with me. But so he gets me out and pats me down.
Okay, I found the comments.
And yeah, I don't know how to fix him hearing me. I can hear him, and you all can hear me, so I have to think that it's on his
I
end.
heard a ding, and then everything went silent.
Now can you hear me? Now can you hear me? Hold on, I'm working on it. Can you hear me now? I think you muted it on your end, man.
Thanks, Joe.
Can you hear me? Okay.
How
Anyway,
do I leave this? Don't even know how to leave.
anyway, I can kick you out. All right. So anyway, he shakes me down or whatever, and he pats me down, and he's like, "Are those capped syringes in your pocket?" And I was like, "Yeah." He pulls those out. He looks at my arms. He says, "Yeah, okay, you do a bunch of dope or whatever." He said, "So I can take you to jail for DUI just for that, because if I take you down and test you, it's going to be in your system." So he said, "So what's your name and stuff?" Here's where it gets good. So I gave him a fake name and social security number and birthday. I'd memorized somebody else's information. And I got arrested under a different name than mine because I had warrants. And because I got arrested for just a DUI, after sitting in jail for 8 hours, my bond was only $100. So all I had to do is get my girlfriend to come bond me out. Well, I go to jail under that false name. It's on the internet under that false name. They send it to post, put a DUI on that person's license and all that stuff. Yeah, I kicked you out, Let's Farm. You can try joining again if you want. I think maybe you muted something on your end because everybody could hear me. I could hear you. The only thing is you couldn't hear me. That's why I think it was you. I'm not sure. We have had a couple issues. This has been a little buggy at times. So I'm not positive of that, but that's what I think. So anyway, this cop, he goes to search my car, and my buddy's with me. We had stopped and done drugs, and he's like, "There's nothing in the car," and I was like, "Nope." Well, my buddy had ditched a bunch of stuff over in the floorboard over there under his seat, and the cop gets over there and searches and finds a spoon and a syringe and stuff over there, and he said, "What's this? I thought you said there was nothing in there." He said, "Well, this is under the passenger seat. I guess he's going to jail too." I said, "No, that stuff's mine," even though it wasn't, but there was no reason for both of us to go, so I said the stuff was mine. The cop ended up not charging me with anything to do with paraphernalia or drugs or anything. He just charged me with the DUI, and I got booked into the jail under the wrong name. And I was in jail for like 2 days under the wrong name. And my ex-wife had seen it on the internet that I was there and called him and told him that's not who it was, that it was me. And so they called me up front and they straightened it all out and find out my name and find out about my warrants and all that stuff before I could pay bond and get out and run off again. And I'd been on the run for like a year. And I'd been living in like empty trailers with no electricity or anything, and sleeping in my car occasionally or not sleeping. And I was pretty much running on sex, drugs, and rock and roll, But The So what had happened though is because that cop had submitted that to Post, they couldn't just undo it so easily. That person's license was suspended and stuff because I'd used their name. And that cop came in, the state trooper, and he said, I didn't charge you with the rigs and stuff. And he's like, yeah, came back to bite me in the ass, you know. He said, I have to come here on my day off from his town about 45 minutes away. And he said, I have to come down here and fix this shit now. And a lot of good it did me treating you good. You're a piece of shit and all this. And I said, yeah, cops and robbers, man. That's how it works. And he wasn't happy. But they ended up charging me with the right thing, and I ended up getting a few years' time out of that, and did time in jail and halfway houses and work programs and various bullshit. Weed eated a lot of hillsides, but anyway, that's the story. I didn't monetize this video, so I don't have to worry about them demonetizing it, because I'm sure that would have done it. But yeah. Anyhow, so I seen a lot of you over at Chris's today, the damn network. That was a pretty good show. Chris did a good job, and I was kind of hard on Chris and critical of him for a minute, but I couldn't stay that way. I'm a big teddy bear when it comes down to it, so I decided to try and give it a second chance and stuff. And it's not Chris personal. I mean, I guess it was Chris personally, but Chris is a nice guy and he means well, and he's doing what he does, and I'm glad he's doing it. And I'm glad that he has a big audience and stuff. I'm just an asshole sometimes, and that's me. But I don't care to admit it, rather publicly. But the Christmas stream went pretty well. It got demonetized too, as I expected. But had Jenny Morgan on and a few other people, and Purple did an excellent job putting that on for 48 whole hours. Such a big undertaking. What's up, Pinworm? Good to see you, buddy. Pinworm's a Kentucky atheist. Robin's a Kentucky atheist. There was I met Chris, not Chris Mallard, but another Chris over there that just joined my Discord and subscribed. That's from Kentucky too, and was surprised that I was the Kentucky atheist. And I said, yeah, come join my channel. There's all kinds of atheists from Kentucky over there. So hopefully, he meets some of you. His name over there was just Chris, period. So if you see him, say hi. Seemed like a pretty cool guy from the little bit that we talked in chat. But I was late to this morning's stream. What had you upset with Chris? Oh, I wasn't so much upset with Chris. I just disagreed with the way he did things to the point that I felt like I couldn't support what he was doing, because it was contradictory to the way I felt about the atheist community itself. And I was wrong. And again, Chris is a nice guy and means well, and is doing what he does, and I shouldn't be so critical. That's sometimes I'm an asshole. Kentucky atheists. Yeah, I've thought about doing that, Amber, a lot, and doing shows that are only atheists from Kentucky. Like, if I could get enough of them that would come on to do just a show with atheists from Kentucky, a panel, and talk about various things and stuff. I've thought about that, and I may do that. I actually was going to change the whole channel name to the Kentucky Skeptic Society, which I renamed a lot of the members' things and stuff like that. It just hasn't taken effect yet. Nothing really happened. I don't care. I'll tell the story. Fuck it. So I used to do a show called Politicality, and leading up to the election, Robin and I did it together. and we streamed it on my channel and Robin's channel, and it did really well. We gained quite a few subscribers, and it was a pretty cool show. We had a lot of fun. I usually brought several clips to do with Trump and Republicans, and we talked about them. Some of them funny, some of them not, and you know, it was a fun show, and we did pretty good with it. I had met Chris doing his channel, and I liked the things he did, and whatever, but I'd only seen like a couple shows, and I invited him to come on and be a guest on our political show because he talked about political stuff. And I liked some of Chris's like little funny commercials and stuff he makes and whatever. But when he came on, that's really like every time we got to talking about something, he wanted to go and talk about him and show his stuff and this and that. And it was kind of a messy show and things. And I don't think he meant to do it that way. I think it was just inexperience being on other channels and stuff. I don't think he meant to, like, it just didn't go well. It's not, you know, again, I'm not holding any grudges with Chris. It's cool. I like Chris again. But it just didn't go well. And then, like, as I watched some more of Chris's stuff, I felt like that he spent more time focusing on himself than anything else. And he showed, you know, he sat and showed clips of himself and laughed about it and all of his little commercials and all that stuff. And just, I felt like Chris was more obsessed with himself than anything else. And he was only worried about going on these other bigger shows. He wanted to get on, you know, the Atheist Experience, and which he eventually did get on one of their shows. But like, that's all he was ever going on about. And his interactions with the community was like, he would read like, "We're going to have to get back to it. Yeah, Robin Webster, okay." And then he would want to show a clip of himself. And I felt like he spent more time just watching his own content and loving himself than doing anything else. And so, again, even at that time, though, I still felt like Chris's show was relevant and that he was doing a good thing because he was bringing a crowd to the atheist community, which is a good thing. I just didn't think he really gave a shit about that community, though. And me personally, I'm very, very much about community. You can ask anyone that knows what I do. I'm very community oriented. I love the people here. They are my close friends, my only friends, and so, you know, I get upset if I think that somebody is you know, exploiting them. And I'm atheist now. But all of that being said, I took some time and thought about it, and I talked to Jess a little bit, and you know, I waited until I gave it a period of time until I had time to really, you know, forget about it completely. And then I went back and watched Chris's show again. The first time I watched it was actually just a couple days ago, and I went back and watched it again, and I was like, hey, you know what? No matter what, like, the community's here in his chat, and he's got quite a community here, and everybody's having fun and stuff. So no matter what, it's supporting the community that I care about. And even if, you know, I don't like somebody's content particularly, I'm an asshole about a lot of those things, though. You know, like, I don't like the line either. You know, like, I don't. And I'm just open about it, you know. That's all. And maybe I shouldn't be sometimes. Maybe I shouldn't be critical of my peers in that way. But I went and watched again, and, you know, I try to hold myself to a standard of being genuine and honest. And what's this? Amber gifted 5 memberships. Thank you, Amber, so much. You know how much our memberships have grown this last month. It's quite amazing. Let's see. ALC got a membership. Omega Weapon, Crafty, Jason Jacoby, and Lord Dissident all got memberships. Thank you so much, Amber, and welcome to the new members. But, you know, I've been critical of a number of things because, let me just lay it out for you like this. Here's my here's the stick that's in my ass, folks. I think the atheist community is kind of fucked up on our end, honestly. I think that, and I just made a video talking about some of this that I haven't released to anyone yet, but it's not, I didn't go very in depth to it, but I think we've gotten ourselves into a position to where we're completely ineffective, and we've became like the in group, and you can be in the group and whatever, and that's cool, and I love to see the atheist community grow and all that stuff. But with the debating and the arguing with Christians and all that stuff, I think from the outside looking in, the atheist community is just viewed as heathens that argue with Christians. I think that's how people see us, because that's all we do on the big channels. That's it. It's just arguments with Christians. And the problem with those arguments is they're fundamentally fucked. They suck, okay? So, here's the issue. Because Christians, theists, apologists, creationists, whatever, because they have no evidence for their God and their position, and they have no defense of it other than like some philosophy bro shit and some of the lies, answers, and Genesis tells about science and stuff, which I think it's great to argue about those things. But whenever we engage in arguments that are purely about poking holes in some scientific thing like evolution, I know that we understand how debates work, but I think to the audience what they see, and I could be wrong about all this, and feel free to correct me if I am, but I think what the audience sees is that if the creationists can poke holes in evolution, even though they're not supporting their side at all, then that's the default position, because all we're arguing about is evolution. We're arguing about settled science, and it allows the creationists to pretend to poke holes in it, and then if they can poke holes in it and convince anyone that they have poked holes in it, then the default position, then it implies that the default is creationism. Do you understand how that works? Like, I know that for those of us that like have these arguments and debate people and stuff, we know that's not how it works. But we need to look at the flip side of that coin of how it's perceived, though. And I think we're sometimes helping creationism grow, honestly. I think that the arguments about evolution, like with Kent Hovind and stuff, I think that he sits and says it's imagination and acts like a smartass and poke holes in it, and we do this in front of an audience of already creationists, so they take it as a win because, look, he poked holes in it, and I believe those are holes because I don't understand this advanced stuff. It's what Standing for Truth does exclusively. They try to find some advanced bit of science and poke a couple holes in it that nobody really understands, or that few people I won't say nobody, that few people really understand, and you really have to do some digging to have that conversation. And then that convinces their people that they've poked holes in that thing, and therefore the default position is creationism in that case. And we don't hold their feet to the fire to ever provide any evidence of it, because they won't do that. They'll quit. Instead, we engage in those arguments about settled science things, and all we're doing is breathing air back into the creationist point. I mean, I don't know how you can look at that and not come to that conclusion, honestly. And I'm willing to have that conversation. This is an open panel. Anyone can join. I don't care. Do you need me?
Yeah, do you have a cigarette?
Yeah. All right, sorry about that.
Probably like 1.
Okay, that's fine. I'll be done here shortly. I gotta go to the doctor in a little bit. Um, so, now I haven't read a lot of the chat going by about why when I've been saying that, and let me be very plain about what I'm bitching about here. I'm not saying that the people that do this are actively causing harm to the atheist community or any shit like that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that they do great jobs, and we love to listen to those things. You learn stuff. You get to feel like you dunked on a creationist or whatever. Like it's fun to watch because it's provocative. It's all those things, but we have to. How is it perceived? How is it perceived from the outside looking in? Some normie out here that doesn't really understand evolution, knows it's a thing or whatever, especially people from like where I'm from. They see it and they see, well, that guy said it's imagination and poked all kinds of holes in this, and then the atheist talked about something I don't understand. So therefore, the default position implied is that creationism is true because they poked holes in evolution, even though that's a huge fucking fallacy and not the way any of this works, right? But it doesn't matter about what's a fallacy or not in this case, because you're talking about the perception of the people that consume the things that we make, which is something completely fucking different. I don't know. I don't have a fix for this. I don't know. I may even just be talking out my ass, and feel free to tell me if I am. I don't care. But I'm always honest about the way that I feel about things. And as I sit back and reflect on some of the stuff, that's why I bring this up, because I think in that situation we're failing. We're failing badly in that area. Now, there's lots of wonderful things about the atheist community. I'm not saying the community is bad or anything. I'm just saying when we do that kind of stuff, which we do a fucking lot of, because that's what all the huge channels are about, right? Like, all the bigger channels, that's all they do is they argue settled science with fucking crazy people. And then if the crazy people poke a single hole in anything they say, then the implied default is, because it says creationism versus atheism, and then they talk about science and poke holes in it, the implied thing to that is, the implied conclusion is that then creationism is true. Does that make sense? um, and look, I love to talk about science. I've debated people about Noah's flood, which is the stupidest fucking thing on earth. I debated T-Rock about the layers of the earth. Now, my thing talking with Lionheart the other day was a little bit different, but what's up, James Afferson?
Hey there, how are you this morning?
I'm good. How are you today?
I'm good. I know you've got to go soon. I'll try not to be too verbose. So, a lot of this reminds me of the conversation that they had over at MythVision between a couple of actual scholars and a couple of religious apologists. This happened about probably 4 months back, and it was about Hebrew stuff, about whether or not there were certain kinds of evil things going on, and whether or not God permitted those things. And the scholar side was so interested in keeping the peace and showing the public how to have a civil conversation with the enemy, right? That
Sure.
they ended up giving so much leeway to the apologists in the name of civility, that the apologists used that opportunity to sneak in a whole bunch of BS. And they got away with so much. And these are accomplished academic minds who are
Sure.
who are very highly intelligent and astute and practiced, and they still got played in their own stream. And so
Do
they
you know
ended.
why? I know why.
Yeah, go ahead, tell me.
It's because these things are not on the same playing field. They are not equal in argument. You have people talking about factual things, and then you have performative charisma bullshit being inserted into it.
Yes,
It's not about the facts ever with
right,
the apologists.
right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree 100% on that point. Now, I'd written something the other day about this. I promise this is short.
No,
I'm
go
just
ahead. You're good.
so I'm going to skip right down to like where it's relevant to this. It's a lose-lose situation.
Yeah,
Um,
I
if
think so too.
Yeah, if the target of their gaslighting reacts with civil, respectful engagement, then this will dignify the gaslighter's pretense that eh, that their own nonsense counts as civil and respectful engagement.
Right, right. It gives it life, right?
Yes, it does.
So by engaging in a civil argument with a crazy position, kind of like I did a little bit ago, it's
Right.
almost like there's really. I think though that was crazy enough. Everybody realized it though. But
Yeah.
like in these cases, when you're talking scientific things that maybe everybody doesn't understand, you give credence to that bullshit pseudoscience position by engaging in a civil argument about it. Um, let me say something that I read in the process of making the video about standing for truth.
Hmm.
Um, so ICR, that's their name, right? The Institute for Creation Research. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, what they did whenever they founded themselves is they wrote out their mission statements and stuff, and their whole mission statement, it's in there. They wanted to engage in debates with evolutionists and atheists publicly in order to do this very thing, in order to bring people to their side.
Right.
Like, even though they knew the facts weren't on their side, that's the point. We play into it. Like,
Right.
that's what they want. All that's what that it's go look up ICR on Wikipedia. It's on
Oh
their
yeah.
fucking Wikipedia page.
Right, they're
Like,
taking advantage of the fact that a lot of listeners don't understand that what registers for them psychologically is a one debate, is they've won the debate, is really just performance. It's really just
yeah,
theater and manipulating emotions and manipulating cognitions and lying to them.
right, right. They're playing to people's emotions while you're playing to fact and reason.
Right,
And they're not the same thing.
right,
So it looks like to some of the audience that you're not even engaged in that. Therefore, the default position is whatever position they brought, which they never defend. They always shift the burden of proof for that very reason. And
right,
so that we can engage in those conversations about evolution and all that other shit, we allow them to shift that burden of proof so that we can have the debate, the conversation, or whatever, whenever we shouldn't be allowing them to do that in the first place.
right.
Um,
And
and
they're very good at it too. Like they're so skilled at it. They don't skip a beat.
and I want to engage with people and talk to them too. I get that part of it, like, because a lot of times the conversation doesn't take place unless you do that.
Right.
Um, and I want to engage with people too. But I think what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to go ahead and give that evolution is false and science knows nothing, and we'll start there. Um, I'll go ahead and give them whatever they're arguing about. We'll start there.
Right.
Now tell me why it's the Christian God and defend your position.
Exactly. I did the same thing with the I'm sorry, with the God issue about whether or not it exists, because you want to engage with them about how that relates to morality and how that relates to a divine ultimatum that we better join their religion or else, and they want to talk about arguments for a prime mover. And so
Yeah.
what I always do is the same thing you're talking about. I give it for the sake of argument. Let's move past it. Fine. There's a prime mover, an intelligent designer who also intelligently designed a whole bunch of horrible diseases and bacteria, etc. Fine. Right. Now let's talk about the stuff that really matters.
Um, Ember, I agree with you too. I agree with the fact that they are not good at it, that they're bad at what they do. But what I'm talking about is how it's perceived by the people that consume it. That's where the problem lies.
Right.
Yeah, they suck at debates and they have nothing, and it's fallacy after fallacy, falsehoods, lies, dishonest engagement, all of those things. They suck at doing debates, but that was never the point.
Right.
And we've played right into it. I mean, you can go look up these places and see what they hope to do, and we're doing exactly what they wanted us to do.
Right. They suck at logic. They suck at reasoning. They suck at facts and fact checking. They even suck at ethics, but they don't suck at manipulating the conversation. And this is the reason why Dr. Kip and Dr. Josh, against, what was it? I can't even remember who the apologists were now here 4 months ago at MythVision. This is the reason why the apologists got away with so much. And then MythVision had to do a follow-up stream where they set the record straight and clarify all the stuff that didn't get clarified in the original discussion.
And see, like, Dr. Kip will be on here soon, and we'll talk about this a little bit with him. But I think that here's the thing. I don't have an answer for this. I don't know what direction, and I wouldn't pretend to tell people what they should or shouldn't do. I'm not saying that at all. This is just my opinion on it and what I see. Now, I don't expect anybody to take what I see with any more than a grain of salt, okay? Because I'm just some dude from Kentucky. But we have to focus. It's not just are you right and can you win an argument. It's who's judging that argument and who's viewing it. You have the perception that argument creates is important. And just like a lot of people don't like the line, and what I say sometimes is you go and watch Matt Dillahunty yell at Christians, right? I love Matt Dillahunty. I love what the line does. I think they're helpful. I think that there is a lot of value to what they do. And I think the same thing about some of these talks about evolution, because you're educating our own community at the same time, and that's a good thing. So there is all of that too, like I'm really conflicted about, I was conflicted about even saying any of this, and it's been in my head ever since I did the Standing for Truth video with Donnie. And whenever I had the interaction with Lionheart the other day, some of it kind of came out then, because I went on and explained carbon dating and all that bullshit for a little bit. And then eventually I was like, look, I'll just give you all that stuff. Now defend your position. And you know what he did? He went right back to bitching about science, because they don't have anything else.
Right.
But they want the perception to be that if I poke holes in science, then by default my position is true. And that's how it's perceived by the people that watch it. I just had this conversation with Austin Sims a couple days ago. I don't know a fix to it. It's just, and that's why we work together as a community, though. Like, you can take what I say with a grain of salt, but maybe consider it. Think about it.
Yeah.
That's all. Like, I'm sorry to sit and bitch and rant all day today, but.
Well, we're past Christmas now, so the gates are open.
Yeah. Well, that and I waited for that too, because like I said, this has been on my head.
Yeah.
I've been on my head. It's been in my mind. I've been thinking about this a lot, and I just I wanted to be careful, because I don't want to dump on the people that do engage in those things. That's not what I mean by any means at all.
Sure.
Again, if you're capable to go out and engage in those conversations, and you think maybe somebody can learn something from it, then by all means I encourage you to go do it. But this spectacle, this public spectacle that they make of us, by making fun of us and just attempting to poke holes in science rather than defend their own position, only benefits them. It doesn't benefit us. What our friends go watch it that already agree with them, and we learn a couple things, that I guess it benefits us in that sense. I mean, we might learn a couple things about evolution to have the same argument over and over again. But I don't know.
I have a follow-up question.
Go for it.
And this might be for a different stream. I know you've got to go soon. But where do we draw the line? Do we have a formula for deciding where to draw the line in terms of the engagements that we have? Because we don't want to platform or support the platforming of bad faith actors, culture, people on the other side of the culture war, but we don't want to completely be in an echo chamber and not have any engagement on these issues at all. So, go ahead.
Yeah, and I think that's important, and that's really why I was conflicted about bringing any of this forward, because I don't have that answer. I don't.
Me neither.
And I think that it's probably very, very subjective for whatever group, I think it would have to be on a case-by-case basis of who's engaging in it and who's consuming it, which is a hard thing to know beforehand, because so much of it is done in live streams and stuff.
Right.
So I think going on Standing for Truth and arguing with Kent Hovind, I think the line's before that.
Well, you remember what Jay brilliantly did when he debated with Kent Hovind? Instead of showing up and trying to hammer him down with the facts, which Kent Hovind was going to dance around and ignore anyways, he showed up wearing clown shoes and trolled Kent Hovind the entire time.
No, I think that's appropriate.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. I think
yeah.
that mocking them and making fun of them and making a spectacle of them is
Yeah.
is I think that's a good answer. But I know that, because see, there's some nuance there, because sometimes, like, look, if a creationist comes and says, well, creation is true because these layers in the Grand Canyon and this fossil that and Mount St. Helens and Steve Austin and some of the different things that they come up with, I think that at that point they are trying to defend their actual position.
Right.
So there are some times, and I think that we should debunk those things. I agree
Oh
with
yeah.
that. Even though we've debunked them over and over, I think that we should continue to do that. I
Right.
don't think we should engage in these spectacles to where the idea is just to poke holes in science, though. Um, like Ken Ham and Bill Nye.
Hmm.
Um, I don't think we should engage in things like that. But again, who am I to really say? And I wouldn't ever pretend to tell anybody that I condemn what you're doing, or you not to do it or whatever. It's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Um,
I agree wholeheartedly. And one of my favorite memes came out of that debate, though. It was when people asked them what would change their minds in the follow-up Q&A. Kent Ham's answer was nothing to change my mind, and Bill Nye's answer was logic and evidence.
yeah, yeah. I actually, well, let's see. I got 40 comments. I better not.
That's right. Yeah, you got to go soon.
Yeah, I gotta go to the doctor here in a little bit.
Yeah.
I still gotta get cleaned up and everything before I do that. I got up this morning and I had been meaning to record this video of 10 stupid things that creationists and theists say. I've been meaning to record that video for a couple days, but the Christmas thing happened and all that, and I didn't want to do it then because I was trying to keep up with that and support my friends there. And then I ended up sleeping for like 18 hours one night. I've only been sleeping like 2 hours a night since they put me on this CPAP machine, and I haven't worn it in a couple nights, which I'm supposed to wear it every night. But I needed to catch up on some rest. It's been like over a month where I haven't slept more than 2 hours, and
So
that's an hour at a time when I do it.
I'm on one of those machines too, and I have some advice for you. We can talk about it later if you want to, but I have some advice that could make it easier for you to get used to the machine.
Go ahead.
One is the mask that you use it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
I've got this one that has a memory foam lining, and that thing adjusts to the contours of your face, even if you have facial hair.
Yeah, this one does too.
All right, and then another thing, the size of the tubing matters. They had me on this tube that was fairly narrow, but when they upgraded me to this larger diameter tube, it was night and day. I could breathe so much easier. And the other thing is, try an automatically adjusting BiPAP machine. The BiPAP machine pays attention to your breathing rhythm and stops fighting you when you exhale. It just adds to your breath when you inhale, and then when you're sleeping, it notices when you stop breathing, and then it kicks in full force and makes the breathing happen. And it's so much easier to use than a CPAP.
So my machine has like you can set like an automatic ramp up, or you
Yeah.
can set it to detect when you fall asleep, and then it starts to build the pressure.
Hmm.
Um, and so what happens is I fall asleep, and it goes from like a range of 0 to 20,
Hmm.
and it'll get up to like 18, 19 because I'll have like 60, 70 events in a night, and it'll get up to that, and when it does, it wakes me up because it's so hard to breathe out at that point, and so I wake up like every hour anyway, and then have to take it off and usually smoke a cigarette, which probably doesn't help, and then put it back on and start over again, and it's kind of been tough. I fell asleep during Dave's stream. I've fallen asleep when I'm supposed to do things. I fall
Wow.
asleep
Yeah.
setting up, and it's been kind of rough getting used to it. But Christmas Eve night, the reason nobody's seen me really after my show was I fell asleep at like 8 o'clock and slept till 8 o'clock the next morning, and got up for an hour and then fell back asleep and slept till 5 o'clock in the evening. I was just exhausted.
Wow.
But I'll get used to it. I'm not going to give up on it or nothing. I need it. at least right now until I can lose some weight. Once I lose some weight, I think the problem will go away, actually, because it kind of came with that. Being after the heart surgery and all that shit, though, it's been hard to get back doing anything really active.
Oof.
And, whatever. My problems, don't worry about it, folks. I feel like now I need to. I took the stream and sent it downhill.
No, you really didn't, right? I mean, you said what needed to be said, and you did brilliantly for someone who's so sleep deprived, and then you ended on that more personal note of the struggles that you're going through, and you do have to go soon. I think it was a great way to close out the stream, honestly.
Well, I think that all the varying perspectives in the atheist community are great. I think they're great. Even if somebody did an atheist channel where they talked about evolution all day, I think that's perfect.
Yeah.
Teach people those things so they know how to answer those questions.
Yeah.
It's engaging in the public spectacles that I see as the problem, and I feel like that my niche area in this community that I've built, this channel that I can't believe grew the way it did and did what it did, but I think my area is that like I can give thoughtful commentary on things and have a genuine way of looking at it, and I think that's useful to some people. And I come from a state that isn't really known for atheists, and it's been a place for a lot of other atheists from Kentucky to come and hang out and stuff. And I try to filter out the riffraff as much as possible and stay on top of those things. But
yeah,
it's things are complicated sometimes. I don't think anybody has the right position all the time.
Right. No, absolutely.
We won't go down that road today, though, because that's a whole other fucking controversy.
Yeah. Life is messy, and sometimes we err. Like Dark Matter 2525 recently released a video where he talks about some really serious mistakes that he made just a few years back about the way that he engaged with issues and thought about things, and so it's a process of learning and growing and owning accountability for those things. I've made huge mistakes in this network. Huge. Man, if I could go back in time and unmake those mistakes, right?
Sure. Yeah. And I think along the way I've had to readjust several times whenever, but that's the beauty of the atheist community itself, though, because we hold each other to account reasonably sometimes, and when we do it that way, it helps people to learn and figure things out better, and to have a better position, and to know more true things, right?
Yeah.
And I think that as we discover more of those things, and we're able to adjust our position better, that benefits everybody. And I've completely changed from whenever I first started doing this. Completely the opposite of what I started with. And Sheldon, there's issues to a plant-based diet in my area, in my situation. There's problems with trying to do that anyway. It works during the spring because everybody grows a garden here, but yeah. Anyway, I guess let's wind it down on that note. And I didn't plan to stream today, but I'm glad I got to say hi to everybody, and I'm glad you came and talked, James.
Thank you, Joe.
I always love to hear from you.
That's wonderful.
I'll probably do a members only stream tomorrow. I generally do one on Fridays. That's kind of been the routine. So I'll probably do a members only stream tomorrow, and it'll be an open panel, and we'll talk about whatever. I I kind of do that, like, I've seen in the past, like, some creators, they do, like, oh, I'll do a Hangout or a Zoom or whatever with my members and all that stuff. And since these video platforms kind of work the way they do, I can just do that here on stage and only air it to the members so that it's still available for all of them instead of sending out a code for you to go join this other thing or whatever. So I think that's the easiest way to do it, and I try to let the conversation go where it goes on those. So all you new members out there, Friday, tomorrow, about 6 p.m. is when I'll probably go live with my members only stream. If you want to come hang out and talk about something other than being a fucking sovereign citizen, then you're welcome to. If you come and tell me the government's not real, I'm going to make you leave. And I will refund your membership, and you can fuck right off.
That's fair.
But other than that, I'm happy to talk to people. I've came off as so welcoming today, right? That southern charm was missing a bit today, I think. But I feel like this is, it's something that eats at me, and so, and the more I look at it, and I'm like, is all we're doing just theater? Is it all just to make a scene on YouTube and all that? Like, is that, like, of course there's, I want to build a bigger, better YouTube channel. Everybody does. If you say you don't want to grow your channel and you make content regularly and edit and do all that shit, you're lying. Because everybody wants to build their channel that actively does those things, like, that works on it. Like, so, I mean, like, of course there's that side of it, I get it, but, like, is it all just a fucking dancing monkey act? Like, is that what we've became? Let's go watch the atheist argue with the godly man, who they've already came into it. They already come into it with a bias, and then we go in there, and even though we present the science perfectly, instead of engaging with the dishonesty that they're doing, we engage with the scientific argument that they're dishonestly putting forward. And this isn't always, it's just particular things, and I think everybody knows the cases in which these take place. But, I mean, so here's the thing. Unfortunately, not everybody's the same, right? Unfortunately, I'm just kidding. It's not unfortunate. Everybody has different perspectives and different ways that they think about things and want to engage with things and things that interest them and all that bullshit, right? We're all different people. As atheists, we agree on the one thing, and we may not even agree completely on how we word that, but the fact of the matter is there's some people that can go and argue those things, and they do it to a degree that it is effective. And there's some that don't. And that's, I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not going to name any names or anything like that. I mean, like, but there's some people that I think they engage in those arguments, and they do it in a way that's mocking, or they're able to address the dishonesty and stuff as they go through it, which I think is just a talent some people have. But going in and trying to have a direct science fight with these guys is just, it's counterproductive, I feel. Who cares what I think, though, right? I think that's how I need to start ending my stream. I told you what I just told you what I think about it, but who gives a shit what I think, right? And then just play the outro. I think that's perfect.
And with a disclaimer, sure, why not?
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I should start with a disclaimer too, like that plays like the Jackass music, and like You're listening to a redneck atheist from Kentucky that doesn't know shit about anything,
Well,
but
that's
is
what
going to say it like he does.
that's that's what Sir Sick does at the if you read his about for his channel, Sir Sick, you'll see that that's what he does.
Yeah.
He pretty much debases himself right up front so that he takes all the steam, all the power out of the apologists. Oh, my sound's cutting out. I've got to go. Thank you so much for having me on here, Joe, and I'll be around. Thanks again.
Thanks, James. Thanks so much. I'm getting ready to end it right now. Just a second, guys.
All right.
All right. So we had that conversation, and again, if you disagree with me or want to talk to me about what I've said here today, want to enlighten me on some part of it that I'm missing, of course I'm willing to have that conversation. I can't do it today, unfortunately. I've got prior engagements, but if you want to have that talk, you can. But whatever, like, just don't bring it to the government. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that for a while. No more sovereign citizens come visit me for a while, please. This isn't that kind of place. Craziest moment of the week has to be you're not an atheist because you believe the government exists. That has to be the craziest shit I heard today or this week. Has to be. Congratulations on that. Whatever the fuck your name was, you piece of shit. But all right. What can I say, guys? I hope everybody had a happy and safe holiday, and thanks to everybody that supports the channel, all my channel members and Patreon supporters and stuff. You guys really give me the drive to keep coming and ranting and rambling at you like this. So I guess I can blame you. My socials are getting ready to pop up in chat for anybody that hasn't talked to me before and doesn't know how to get a hold of me. I always answer Discord messages and emails and stuff. Those are the best places to find me. Facebook, Instagram, Bluesky. Not always so much on there, but if you send me a message or something on there, I will get back to you. So if you want to have an honest conversation about something, we can. If you want to engage with me about poking holes and evolution and stuff, I warn you, it's not going to be the conversation you think it is. But I'll still do it. We'll still have that talk, but it's not going to be like one you ever had before. The member stream tomorrow at 6 p.m. and Grateful to Know God's broadcast Sunday. I may have a guest Sunday. I may not. I've got guests coming up in the future. I've got Answer Man who on the 5th, which I really want to introduce you guys to this guy. He's awesome. Ember, big shout out for introducing me to him. He makes hilarious content. He's more of a comedian than anything. He doesn't even like to call himself an atheist or anything, but he makes content punking the creationists and stuff, so it's still good stuff. But it's you're not a member. This is a good time for me to see if I can gift memberships. Oh, I just gave my girlfriend my phone. Damn it. Hold on. Let me see if I can do it from here. I'll probably have to do it from this anyway. 1 second, guys. Hang with me. I want to try and do it before the stream ends. That way, and if not, PC, I'll still give you a link to it either way. I'll get you in one way or another, and we'll get you a membership. Live. I've never been able to figure out how to gift my own memberships. Apparently I can, but I've never been able to figure it out. Let's go see. So it's not under video details. It's not under that. Is it under monetization? This isn't monetized. So we're going to go to the actual YouTube video. See if it's there. And I'm sorry if somebody's yelling at me in chat right now telling me what I'm doing wrong. I can't see the chat yet. Hold on a second. So I'm on the live YouTube stream. Come on, load, bitch. It's because I'm on camera. My computer tries to bomb it when I do stuff like this. It doesn't like it. Pragmatic Crystal linked Answer Man in there. He's really good. He's really funny. Let's see. I've got super sticker, super chat, membership gifting. When I go to membership gifting, all it has is it allows me to bomb. I am logged into my account too, so let's go to interact, engage, Q&A, poll, close. Yeah, I can't do it for some reason. I don't know why I can't gift memberships to my audience. I know other people do it, and I know I've got that. I know that like some of those people, like I've caught up to them close enough in hours and stuff that I've seen them do it. That like in all those things, like the channel's doing well enough. I should be able to do it. I don't know. I'll figure it out eventually, but don't you worry, PC. You'll be there if you want to be. Even if I have to, I'll make the stream unlisted and just post the link on Patreon and on my members community board and on my Discord. No, I can't do it like that. I can't post it on Discord. I can post it in my... Oh, that's what I'll do. Fuck. I'll make it unlisted and I'll post the link on my... That's going to suck, though, if I do it that way. Maybe if I start it as a members-only chat, members-only, let all the members get here, then mark it unlisted and post the link in my mod section of Discord. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I would gift the members. I would pay for the memberships and gift them right now. But again, my girlfriend just ran off with my card, and I had to take my credit card information off of here. So, my card's on my phone. That's why that's relevant. But anyway, again, I hope nobody takes the things I said negatively because that's not what it was meant to be. It's because I care about you guys and stuff that I don't want to see you made a spectacle of for the benefit of charlatans. That's why. Not because I'm just bitching about what people make. It's not my job to tell people what they can and can't do or anything, and I wouldn't pretend to. All right. So what was the thing I was going to say? I don't know. Bye.